Joy Reid says wanting to have children is part of nationalistic drive towards fascism.
What is?
I do believe that this election is a litmus test for American tolerance for fascism. Let me play the clip for you.
Before he plays the clip, this is Joy Reid getting obliterated by Tim Pool's panel. But to be honest, it's like, what is fascism anymore? Like, what are these words? What are all these isms? You know, people think what they think. You know, I mean. Goodness gracious, it's like we've used these terms so much that they just really don't mean anything anymore. Like fascism. Oh, we have fascism coming. People want to have kids. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it really is.
She killed by that cop.
I believe that this election is a litmus test for American tolerance for fascism. The elements of fascism are rooted in this nationalistic drive for more babies for the state, for a strongman-driven nation, and a deep sort of state-based religiosity. So I do believe we have a media problem, and we do have some of our media that is leading people toward fascism. The question of America has become too soft and feminine. I think that is it's a fascist litmus test.
I mean, did she need her paperwork to talk about this? Like, did she need her paperwork to make the point? You know, she's talking out of her behind. She's being emotional. Clearly, she's not saying anything that matters. I mean, she's ruffling through her papers like she's hitting some big point. Like she's got some dissertation of some new theory of some sort of scientific process or something. But it's just nothing but complaining.
So this question of whether the society is too soft and feminine, it was alarming to me that a majority of Hispanic Protestants agree, but that's not shocking. Immigrants are poisoning the blood of the country. This is one of the most terrifying things that you've heard a presidential candidate say, because it is straight out of Mein Kampf. 23% of Jewish respondents agree with that, because that's straight out Nazi talk.
So black people are so happy to always like throw Jews around as if like, you know, like, see, yeah, look, we care, and you're just trying to get, look, Jewish people, let me keep it real with you. Like, I keep it extremely real with y'all on Twitter, because I have respect for you, okay? I don't need to toss around any group of people, including my own, you know, just to get my point across. Well, Jewish people feel this way about it, and they say, like, what is that? What is that? I just feel like it's like people aren't props. That's how I feel, straight up and down. But coming back to the point, you know, when she says the whole thing about immigrants are poisoning the blood of this country, yeah, illegal immigrants are. I'll be the first one to tell you, listen, I need to move from here. Like, the videos are going to be coming like back to back to back to back to back to back to back, because I need to get right in my life and get the heck out of the city. I want to move far away. I do. It's being taken over. Haitians, way too many Haitians. Guess what? I am Haitian. I have to do this thing, right? They're not like my mom and dad. They're not like my uncles and aunts and cousins from even 10 years ago, who came here legally, by the way. These are fresh Haitians who don't speak the language, who don't care about your constitution, who just want to make money. It only takes about a second for these people to get some fast track to citizenship so they can get in your military for the upcoming war that's coming, right? And then what? And then what, right? They're not going to care when they get given certain orders. This is not fear mongering. Everybody will be okay. But I think about this stuff because I'm very real about what's going on. So it's always these feelings. Look at where these feelings have gotten us. Like, it's just ridiculous.
The majority of Jews don't. By the way, so the majority of Jews don't agree that that's something out of Mein Kampf. To be like 23% agree. You mean a minority? 1/4 of them?
I just want to stress, it's a death cult.
Yeah.
And I'm not being cute, okay? This is not meant to be ha-ha silly. When prominent liberal personalities say it is bad to have kids, there is one simple mathematical equation you need to understand. If a society does not have kids, the society ceases to exist in a few generations.
Yep. I've said this 100 times before. I mean, they just hate the family. That's all this is. What is fascism mean here?
They hate babies.
All right, everybody, this isn't true. This isn't trailblazing hot take, you know, here we go. Wee, woo, wee. I saw somebody say that on a video, like, hot take. Like, not everything is a hot take. If you don't know by now that the state doesn't like the family, then I don't know what to tell you. Then you're not paying attention. You haven't been paying attention to the last 5-6 years. right? Everything is racist, right? The people who write the articles, they tell you that everything is racist down to families. The black woman who's talking to you like she's a complete Marxist communist, right? She's miserable. It's very easy to make her, and this is not an excuse, it's very easy to have her read the script. Literally reading the script, right? So with that said, it's like, yeah, who wrote the script? She's down with it. If you don't know by now that anything natural they hate, then you're not paying attention.
I know, exactly. And the safest place for a baby to exist is within the confines of a loving marriage, in a productive, happy, healthy family. They hate that. They can't stand that. The fact that she says having more children for the state, that just shows you where her head's at. That's what she thinks the purpose of children are. So when people say they want to have more children, she goes, more kids for the state? No. Children belong to their families.
But this is the same kind of ideology that says homeschooling is bad, like not wanting to go. So it's kids for the state if they're allowed to be educated and controlled by the state. But if you just want to have them because you believe your culture is good, you believe your family is good, you think that America's a nice country and you don't want its birth rates to collapse, then you're a fascist.
Well, yeah, politically they're
But to even speak about birth rates collapsing, it's not even just America. Yeah, Americans' birth rates are collapsing. White people need to have some children, okay? And this is something I'm saying that's like, it probably sounds so despotic, but it's the reality. White people aren't having enough kids. They're not getting married. You know why it's weird to me? Guys, I'm 40. I'm like 41. So when I talk about this stuff, I talk in reality. There is a culture of people who think that just getting pregnant is okay. That's the ghetto culture. That doesn't mean black either. It's a ghetto culture, but it is a ghetto culture that permeated through the black family and through black folk a lot faster because of a lot of things with the welfare state and everything else. We're not going to go into that long diatribe about all of that, right? But when I was younger, white girls used to get married all the time, and I don't look at life as black and white, but like let's just talk about it for a second, right? And I'm not seeing that as much anymore. The birth rate has been declining, and I do believe in. I can't say the two words that are theories, right? So I'm one that I'm like, I think there should be more white families. I don't see anything wrong with that. And when you know and understand the philosophy behind it, like this isn't saying anything wrong at all. So I just wanted to come out and make that point because this is something that's not going to be said on Tim Pool. I'm going to give it to you right straight, no chaser. We need more American babies, right? American babies, right? White people need to have some kids. White people need to have more families. So I hope this is happening. I hope it's happening, and I just don't know, and that they're just not reporting it correctly. But in the 90s and stuff, it just was a lot different. Like a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, it is kind of, it's a little alarming.
They're anti-family because a strong family is the greatest threat to a strong state. They're anti-human because they just hate God and they hate everything God created and they hate everything God designed. The humans are made to work a certain way. Life works best when we kind of follow the way God designed it and planned it, and leftists just resent that. It's all about wanting to be your own God.
Yeah, and
not just leftists. There are people who we can't just always do left right. Life is not a binary. But I will say, anybody who follows the practice of Marxism and communism, yes, we can say that because that is still an ideology, I guess, that people. Obviously, it's permeated all through our universities and our publications, our news media. I mean, what is Joy Reid saying, right? And she has no problem saying it because the money's good. It's not easy to go. These are the type of people too. But okay, well, I'm gonna get to the last point.
I'll take it a layer deeper too. Part of what being your own God means is defining your own terms of logic. The reality is, even though, of course, as a Catholic, I believe very strongly and firmly in scripture and tradition, a lot of the moral rules that we're talking about here are just moral precepts that you can arrive at through pure natural logic. Yeah, exactly. So, for example, you don't need to have divine revelation to know that the best place for a child to be raised is within a family, and the best way to ensure that that happens is if you're not promoting sex outside of marriage, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, so many of what we call right-wing or even religious principles are just basic, straightforward logic that you don't actually need scripture to inform you on.
Yes, you do. Not necessarily to inform you on, but I'm as a Christian, I'm going to just say, and I'm not pushing my religion on anybody or whatever, but maybe it's not to figure it out, but to hold on to it. Yeah, you do. And when I say hold on to it, I'm not saying being with some abusive person and none of that. No, God knows that that's not correct. But there are a lot of people who get married and then they got married for the wrong reasons and then they're breaking up for the wrong reasons, and it's just willy-nilly. No fault divorce, right? Isn't that a thing? And it is directly against the scriptures, right? And so sometimes it's good when you have something outside of yourself to follow. I'm just saying, because if I had to answer to myself all the time, I mean, I would be a straight BITCH, capital letters, without question. And I know I'd be a miserable one. It would be horrible. It would be really, really horrible. I'm not perfect. And that's with me trying to follow the Lord. I just wanted to put that out there. Again, you do not have to, I'm just saying, And by the way, thank you for watching. And please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification bell. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who is watching. Thank you.
You don't need commandments to honor your father and mother. And for the secular atheists out there who are like, I don't care about the commandments, then I'll throw it to Tony Stark in Captain America Civil War, when they discovered that Bucky Barnes killed Tony Stark's mom, and Captain America says it wasn't him, it's not his fault, and he says, I don't care, he killed my mom. You don't need scripture to explain to a man that he loves his mother and would kill someone who would dare harm his family. And the reason for it is basic logic and also rooted in science. When human beings survive, they are proving to reality that their strategy worked. When they have kids, they are proving to reality that they have survived beyond themselves. So when the child honors and trusts in their parents, they are inheriting survival traits. This is science, but it's also in scripture. But there are people who...
It's in scripture first, okay? It's in scripture first.
Again, they reject anything that exists in a right-wing tradition because it is... tradition, I suppose, or because they assume it's derived from nothing.
Well, yeah, in reality, is a reminder.
And but we're not even gonna look for number one. Let me tell you something about Joy Reid, right? So there's this thing happening, but you got to be careful because in alternative media, it's being taken over too by the donors. Okay, get it. Don't get it twisted. Not everything on YouTube is like this brand new blazing news. Like, no, it's not. People have bills to pay and there's a lot going on. We have an upcoming war and all that. So, there's that, right? You're probably wondering why I'm saying this, but as I'm taping this right now, we are involved with bombings in other countries. Anywho, coming back to it. Okay. And I wanted to touch on this because, like somebody like Joy Reid, if she thinks that this is going to last forever, it's not. People think that the status quo will last forever. It won't. I used to think, this is very small, I used to think that malls would be here forever. Okay? When they said, you're going to start buying your clothes online, I was like, how am I going to try it on? Like, no way. Now, I hate going to malls. I still go to a mall, but I hate going to malls. Like, I'm like at home, like, oh, I like this, I like that, whatever. But if you would have told me that 15 years ago, and they did, I was like, oh, heck no. I'm not just going to go online to buy clothes. That sounds crazy. Buy everything online now. Joy Reid thinks that MSNBC will last forever. I hope she's flipping her money into laundromats or something. It won't. They will get rid of corporate press without a problem. They will. They have no problem doing it. And then what? Nobody watches the Don Lemon show. The only reason why he's chill is because he got a settlement. So he's chilling, right? And I'm sure he still had to kind of step down a little bit, like, take it back with his spending. Anyway, I don't want to go too far. So oh my God. But there's that. But lastly, I'll say this. It's not scripture also. And it's not just the right wing. And this is why you have to step outside of yourself. These labels of right wing and left wing are, to me, horrible. Because people get so caught up in it that they won't look at reality for what it is. Okay? And I could give a lot of examples. It's not scripture also, they have science that proves this in scripture also. No. The scripture was first, and then it went back to the science, okay? The fact is that in scripture, the love of God and, all of that, and the natural way, creation, the creator, they want people to step away from the creator. I can't tell you enough. And again, I'm not perfect. I'm trying to be as best as I can be, but I'm trying to tell you, I'm not telling you a religion or whatever. Listen, it's just a simple statement. They want to disconnect the creation from the creator. Okay? That is source. Once you're disconnected, you are open to everything. Okay? And I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.